Yeah, I'm going to discuss the process of glycolysis today. Glycolysis simply means the conversion of glucose into pyruvate or pyruvic acid. So let's start with the process. It's a simple process. Glucose will first be converted into glucose phosphate, and this action is catalyzed by the enzyme hexokinase. So during this process, ATP is converted into ADP, that is adenosine triphosphate will be converted into adenosine diphosphate. This ATP contains 3-phosphate and ADP contains 2-phosphate. It means here ATP is being utilized. But we know that in the process of glycolysis, ATP is formed, but the first part of glycolysis, that is the first, the second, and the third stage, involves the utilization of ATP. So we will know as the process go on that the first part involves the utilization of ATP. So let's move on to the second stage of the reaction. In the second stage, the glucose phosphate would be converted to fructose phosphate by the enzyme called isomerase or glucose phosphate isomerase. The reason why it is catalyzed by an enzyme isomerase is because the reaction is an isomeric reaction. It means only the rearrangement of the molecule changes. Glucose phosphate and fructose phosphate all contain 6 molecules or 6 carbon molecules. So it is just the arrangement of the molecules that will change. That is why it is catalyzed by an enzyme called isomerase. So now let's proceed with our reaction. Now proceeding with our reaction, fructose phosphate will be converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. And this action will be catalyzed by the enzyme phosphofructokinase. Phosphofructokinase. So in this part 2, ATP will be converted into ADP. So it means starting from the beginning up to this end, we have used or utilized 2 ATP. So it means we are going to produce ATP, but in the first part, we are utilizing ATP in our reaction. So let's proceed with the reaction. This fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is an unstable molecule. So it was split into 2 carbon compounds. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is a 6-carbon compound. So it will be divided into 2 3-carbon compounds, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme aldolase. Then from here, the reaction will only produce in one side. That is, it will proceed in the side where the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is found. But we have to know that the dihydroxyacetone phosphate can also be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. It is a reversible reaction. That is why this symbol is there. It means after the reaction produced in this side, the dihydroxyacetone phosphate will also be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and it is also proceed in the same direction. So from here, everything we are going to get here will be multiplied by 2, since this one will also be converted into this. So now the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. It will be converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, and this is catalyzed by glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. And in this reaction, to NAD plus will be converted into NADH2. But each and every NADH2 will produce 3 ATP. We'll see in the calculation section. So now 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate will also be converted into 3-phosphoglycerate, and it is catalyzed by phosphoglycerate kinase. And here we can see that ADP is rather converted into ATP. It means in these stages ATP is being formed. In the first 2 stages were utilizing ATP, but now ATP is being produced. So that is our first ATP being produced. So 3-phosphoglycerate will also be converted into 2-phosphoglycerate by the enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase. Phosphoglycerate mutase, it means mutation is taking place. That's a rearrangement of the molecules. Then 2-phosphoglycerate will also be converted into phosphoenol pyruvate. 2-phosphoglycerate will also be converted into phosphoenol pyruvate by the enzyme enolase. Then phosphoenol pyruvate will finally be converted into pyruvic acid or pyruvate. That is the last stage in the reaction. Here too, ADP will be converted into ATP. So it means the second part of the reaction, 2 ATPs are produced here. 2 ATPs are produced here. And the NADH2 will also produce or give 3 ATP. But we have to know that this reaction is reversible. So it means dihydroxyacetone phosphate will also be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So it means this NADH2 we have gotten here will get the same thing when this one is converted into this. Then this ATP2 will get another ATP in the second phase. Then this ATP2 will get another ATP. So when we calculate here, we have 2 ATP. So multiply by 2, we'll get 4 ATP. And this one too, NADH2 will produce 3 ATP. So multiply by 2, get 6 ATP. So let's come to our calculation section. The ATP used in the first part of the reaction, we utilize 2 ATP. So it means we have a negative 2 ATP there. Then in the second part of the reaction, we got 2 ATP. So the 2 ATP will be multiplied by 2, since this dihydroxyacetone phosphate will also be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to form or to proceed in that same reaction. So it means the ATP formed, 2 ATP were formed, multiplied by 2, we'll get 4 ATP. We'll get 4 ATP in the second part of the reaction. And the NADH2 will also produce 3 ATP. But since we'll get 2 of the NADH2, because the dihydroxyacetone phosphate will also be converted into glyceraldehyde phosphate to proceed in the same direction, we'll also get 6 ATP from the NADH2. So adding all this, 6 plus 4 will get 10 minus 2, we are going to get 8 ATP. So it means the whole process of glycolysis, we are going to get 8 ATP at the end. But you have to notice that the first part of the reaction, we used 2 ATP. That was the investment of ATP. And in the second part of the reaction, ATP was produced. And one most important thing we have to also know is that the whole reaction, with the exception of the first, the third, and the last stage, the first, second, and the last stage, the third, and the last stage, the rest of the reaction is reversible. So the conversion of glucose to glucose phosphate is irreversible. Then fructose phosphate also to fructose 1,6-base phosphate is also irreversible, and the last stage also irreversible. The rest of the reaction is reversible. So that is the end of the video. Glycolysis, 8 ATP produced at the end of glycolysis. Thank you for watching. Please, if you like this video, hit on the like button, and please hit on the subscribe button to get notification whenever a new video is being posted. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, please leave your question in the comment section, and I will do anything as possible to answer every question that will be posted in the comment section. I hope this video was helpful. comment on the video, and let's promote this channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.